We can go whenever you are ready there, kiddo. And good morning. Welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner here on the Highlander Activity Network. After about a 2-week hiatus, we are back at it in the winter sports season. It pretty much wraps up this weekend. The Division A and Division B boys basketball tournaments are going on, I believe, Minot, Bismarck, respectively. And we are here with the head Highland boys coach, Jim McDaniel. Coach, how you doing?
Morning. Good.
Season ended a little abruptly, but you look at that Northern Cass game, and actually, you stayed with the Jaguars pretty much the whole game in that regional tournament.
Yeah, defensively, I thought we did a nice job. Our goal is always giving up 12 a quarter. Mm-hmm. We need to score 15. Yep. 12 or less. We need to score 15. And we had a hard time the last games of the season scoring points. And it's not that we weren't getting shots. I thought that Northern Cass game, we got a lot of shots in the paint, and they just would not go in. They'd roll around, and so it wasn't our defense giving up 49. You can live with that. Us scoring only 40, that's and again we had good shots. I thought our threes that we took that game were good. Our percentages were just low. That's how it was kind of the last few games.
Right.
We didn't shoot the ball as well as we did early on in the season.
And it looked like, too, watching all of the region tournaments, a lot of low-scoring games, too. So I think teams either ratcheted up the defense or it was difficult shooting at the center.
Yeah, well, and I thought the Wahpeton game, Jeff Ralph, talking with him after, they didn't shoot the ball very well that first game. And I'm like, where was that when you guys played us?
Yeah.
Because I think Wahpeton shot about the best they've ever shot in the 2 games they played us. So I said, where was that? We'd like to see that team show up with us instead of the one that can throw it in from anywhere.
Right.
Yep.
And Oak Grove stuck with them in that opening game, and it got, I think, as close as 5 or 6 something at one point.
Yeah, and again, they weren't shooting the ball real well either, but we did a lot of good things, but if the ball just isn't going in, and we struggled with free throws all year, and so we knew that, but we had some easy putbacks that just rolled in and out. We had stuff in the paint. We had open look threes that we normally hit that we weren't hit. I mean, it's just and then at that part of the season, it's do or die.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, now as you look back at the 9-14 record here, Coach, and you just look back at the season, obviously you say, well, if this, then this, or if that. But some of the positives that you feel came out of this campaign.
Well, I think we played pretty good basketball all year long. What hurt was our numbers are down, our games had to be our practice just because there were times where some of our drills, some of our scrimmaging we couldn't do because with low numbers you get a couple guys, injured. And so our guys did a lot of good things, working through where we'd go to practice and we can't scrimmage today because we got 9.
Yeah.
We don't have 10. And so for us to battle and I think we had chances. I don't. Some of those things with low numbers as you go through the season, that starts to add up at the end. And that's some adversity stuff that you don't expect that you are going to have to try to, get through.
Right.
Is coming to practice where we just don't have the numbers. And then that means that there's guys doing things that they aren't ready to be in the situation that they're doing, and so if we had a bunch of freshmen, so we have a freshman team and a JV team, or a C squad, a JV, a varsity.
Yeah.
People don't realize that helps the varsity having the numbers high in practice. Mm-hmm. It just and for our guys to work hard like they did. Our practices when you only have 13 guys, every drill you do, there's no line.
Right.
I thought we were in really great shape.
Yep.
Well, every practice, you get in the back of the line. There is no line. It's your turn next. And so we were in pretty good shape because of that. So it was a very good season. Other than we wanted to go farther.
Right.
And we know we could have. We know we didn't shoot the ball well, and so that's kind of frustrating. But after that game, we went up the next couple games to the region tournament and watched, and we took a bus. The guys were on there. Fun group of guys to travel around with. And so their attitude and everything after, great. Of course, seniors are sad and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's expected, but yeah.
And a handful of seniors that are done this year with their final season with the Highliners, and they're. A couple of them played JV, but
Yep.
you look at Richard and Taylor, that they stuck it out and
Yeah.
played in the JV as well.
And when we have numbers that are low, again, everybody focuses on who is on the varsity floor most of the time,
Right.
and so Bryson and Teagan got a lot of time there. Taylor and Richard in practice, how vital it is when our numbers are short that you got some seniors that can play, and then now they're, that ramps up, the level of competition, and so again, people always want to be on the floor, but
Right.
it's so important. Everybody's important, and I think that's the tough thing in sport right now is some of these travel teams and everything like that. We've taken away the importance of the guys that are on the bench, the guys that are in practice every day that maybe don't see a lot of time on the floor. How important those people are.
Right.
We know they're important, but I think youth has gotten so into making sure you're on the floor that we've kind of forgotten how important those guys are in practice every day, working hard, pushing the guys that are going to get more time.
Yeah.
Those guys are just as valuable.
Yeah.
And that's probably why our numbers are low. You're not going to play at time. You're going to come in and you're going to be on the C squad.
Right.
And then the next, you work your way up. I don't know if guys want to work their way up anymore. And that's not just. I don't think that's just basketball in our
Right,
team. I think
right,
that's sports all around.
Right. Exactly.
And so for those guys to be there every day working hard,
Yep.
we're going to lose 4 guys,
Yep.
and all 4 were important, doing different things for us. So.
Yeah. They were role players, and Teagan and Bryson, the 2 varsity guys that started and played the whole
Yep.
year. And we talked about it before. Teagan, just a hard worker and a guy that knows what his role is.
Yep.
And loves it.
Yeah.
And embraces it.
Yeah, and so there's 4 guys. Teagan, and again when the game against Northern Cass, as they're making free throws down, we're trying to make things happen and everything, but you could see as we'd miss a trip, and then and time is ticking away and they're holding the ball, you could just start to feel it.
Right.
And those guys coming off, Bryson and Teagan, they're out there feeling it like it's slipping away, and so that's what's hard when it comes to the end. Those guys now they know that that was it right there. So
the trip is over now.
And they wanted. Again, you win that game, you for sure you get 2 more.
Yeah.
You're guaranteed more games. So it made it a tough. It's one of those when you head to the locker room that you're not I don't want this locker room visit right now. That's the one I don't.
Looking forward
this
to.
isn't the one I was planning for. Yeah.
I had something entirely different ready to go. And Bryson and Mike and Matson make all region.
Yep.
And
well deserved.
Two very good ball players that did a lot for your team this year.
They did, and those 2 guys. Part of our shooting woes were partly those 2 are good shooters, but everywhere we'd go, guess what?
Yeah.
The defense is going to ramp up against those 2 guys, and they still led us in scoring and did a lot of good things. But as the season progressed, they're attracting a lot of attention. So well deserved for those 2 guys to be. All region players.
And lastly, you talk about the youth. Towards the end of the year, you brought up some 8th graders just to get on the JV bench, to give you some numbers. And those guys got a chance to get in and see a little bit of junior varsity action.
Yeah, and they did a great job. And I'm hoping that those guys, they came up and they helped us because our numbers. We had to play with some JV games where we had some shortened games and
Yeah.
and things like that. So they came up, and we were thinking that as those guys came up, we'd be playing a little bit more C squad type, because a lot of these teams have C squad. They got thrown in right. I mean, we were playing full-fledged JV on some of those teams. But I'm hoping that they had a fun experience. I think they did in practice and things like that, and traveling the couple games that we were on the road, and it gives them a taste that next year that's where I want to be.
Right.
I mean, it was fun. Getting thrown in at the end of the season, they're trying to learn some things we are doing real quick. Yeah, they did a great job. So I'm hoping that all of them are back in the gym with us as we move through the off season and then into next year.
And on the off season, I've even talked to a couple of those eighth graders. They're looking towards AAU ball and getting ready for summer ball, because basketball is their thing. Yeah,
and we got some guys that go play some summer stuff on their own, and then we'll have a couple of team camps that we're going to be taking part in, like we did last year, and then some guys go to some individual camps and stuff like that too. Yeah. So, and then we just I think next year we'll be just as competitive next year as we were this year. And you hope as things. I thought things fell into play. Getting the 6th seed. You're trying to play higher than that.
Right.
We lost that 2-point game when, Dieterle was sick and all that. But things kind of fell into where we wanted it. And then, of course, that night, then we can't put the ball in the basket very well. So that's the fun thing about the Class A that we're in is every game is competitive. Anything can happen. Next year, we have just as good a chance as anybody to get to the state tournament again. So,
of course, state tournament. 6 out of the 8 teams we saw this year. We had a chance to play, I think, 6 out of the 8 teams. Are you still thinking Kindred is the team to beat as they started?
I do. I think Kindred's the favorite, and if they win it, they're you don't get teams like that. They are a good team. So if they win it, it would be well deserved. It is. I think the best team in Class A. So
a lot of seniors.
Yeah, there is, and so, but at tournament time, anything can happen. You have a tough game, or if some foul trouble gets you, and before you know it, you get beat. That's the fun. March Madness for college is starting today too. There'll be some good teams that get beat today. So Kindred. I think they're the favorite, but will they do it? That's the tough thing. So.
No, you got to do it. It's great. One thing to have it on paper. It's another thing to get out and prove it.
Yeah, and there'll be a lot of teams that are good teams at the state tournament that are capable of an upset. So.
And it's going to be a fun tournament to watch.
It will.
Coach, appreciate it as usual. Now you got your JV hat on for golf here.
Yep, we're it's kind of a little bit of time off here, but then we'll be ramping up for golf. The weather is great. The course should be clear, and so
there you go.
We'll get going sooner than later, I guess. So.
Perfect. Coach, appreciate it. Have a good one.
Thanks for everything you do through the season and covering the games, and appreciate all your work.
Well, get ready for next year.
Yep, we're all right. It'll be here faster than you think.
It will be. It will be. That is Coach Jim McDaniel from the Highlander boys basketball, back with more Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner in the Highlander Activity Network, and as we mentioned, the winter sports season wrapping up. Division A and B boys basketball tournaments getting started here today. Of course, girls basketball state tournament a couple weeks back, and we're joined by Jimmy Howard, head coach of the Highlander girls. How you doing, Coach?
Good.
Well, you've had a couple of weeks. You and I have chatted back and forth about the sinking in aspect of a state championship. Has it hit? Is it there now? And you understand what went on?
Yeah. Winning the state championship has definitely sunk in. I think it's going to take a while, especially for the players, to understand or maybe feel the gravity of the first one ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sunk in that, we did it, and it was a fun ride. The girls played extremely hard, and it worked out in our favor. And so I think that's all sunk in. But now it's in 10 years or whatever, when there's some sort of reunion, and it's like, oh, that's right, we were the first.
Yep.
I think that's when that part will kind of sink in for everyone.
In the 2035 state tournament, when they have the teams back at the 10-year reunion. And I think we've mentioned it before, but it just seemed like that Thompson game, the state championship game, that was probably one of your best games of the year.
Yeah, I'd rank it right up there with, I think when we played Northern Cass at the BCT, that was one of our best games of the year. We had a couple home games that I thought we played really well. We had a stretch where it seemed like we could do anything we wanted in about a 5-game stretch there. And then we kind of fell off from that, feeling of how we were playing. And I thought the last time we played extremely well up to our abilities was at Northern Cass at the end of the season. And then from that point till the Thompson game, we played tight, I thought. And Thompson game, I think we finally just played loose and saw some shots drop, and then we got more relaxed. And once we got relaxed, the ball moved. And it seemed like anything that happened defensively for that, like whatever they tried defensively, the girls just read it. They made the extra pass and, shot really well. We hit some threes finally again. Like I said, I think relaxing into that, ball movement, open shots, and kind of looked up at the scoreboard at one point and was like, I don't know if this is real.
Well, and I think I mentioned it, that it seemed like the way that they played, it was very calm. They were together. It almost looked like, well, this is our 5th straight state championship game we're playing in, not the first one. It was just very together and clicked.
Yeah, I feel like we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to achieve the 2 goals that we really had out there. And once we were in the championship game, it was like we've made it to our second goal. And I feel like we finally just relaxed. Like we got to this game and now we can just play it, versus we have to win this one. We have to win this one to get to this game. And so, matchups matter, and getting hot at the right time. We easily could have lost our first game against Carrington. They were killing us on the boards in the first half, and we relaxed in the second game, and South Prairie Max came back, and we could have easily, folded, and the girls just continued to grind and find a way, and, we won that way. Some games of the season, we won some games by a lot. We won some games coming from behind, and so I think that helped us as well. As we've played a bunch of different styles all season and found ways to win. And so when we were in those in the state tournament, we were able to execute down the stretch.
Talking with Jim, we were talking about the role players, the players that maybe don't get on the floor a lot, but what you see in practice. You don't have a 24-2 record without those role players.
Oh, absolutely. Even some of the ones that are on the floor that maybe don't always get recognized. Madison Anderson, everyone kind of knows, 3-point shooter, but she kind of fills a stat sheet as well. Katie Koka coming off the bench, just defensively. Kinley Suffolk giving us a little spark. I call it a spark plug of the team. But then you get into the practices, right? And you have Kinsley Glant, Bryn Leak, Nora Peterson, Bailey LaRue she pounded on Katie and Sky inside, and Mariah Freeze. And we were able to move kids around. Rylan Johnson was another one. If they had a post player that was a good 10-foot jump shooter, we could slide her into that position, say this is who this is. And when we talked about 3-point shooters, we had some of those kids in those freshman levels that we were able to slide out and say, okay, this is Riley Rutledge, and it may not be the same height, but we can try to emulate, like, okay, she breaks down and gets to the hoop, we got a player that can kind of do that. That's what your role is. And so those girls in practice continued to grind every day, because it's a massive team game. And without all of them, you don't get here, because it's easy for someone that's not playing maybe the varsity minutes to say, well, I don't want to work hard at practice today, and now that doesn't help our starters. And I'm blessed to have a group of kids that I may not have a ton of them. You don't have the 20, 25 kids, but I got 15, 16 kids that were there that wanted to work hard every day and get better. And you need that to continue to push the older kids and the varsity players to continue to grind.
Two seniors, Greta Govan and Bailey LaRue, and again, two unsung type players. You just talked about Bailey, what she does during practice, and Greta, I think you have like a cabinet as a president, and she's your Secretary of Defense. Because that was her role, and she knew it and embraced it.
Yeah, and I said, whoever fills into that role next year is probably going to shoot the ball a little bit more than Greta did.
Yeah.
But, it was always nice she's long, almost 6 feet tall, and you can put her on just about on anybody. And she goes out there and she loved defense. I think when we got to the region championship game, she asked if we were going to play like a box and one or a chase or whatever, and she goes, "I've been waiting for this all season." And I was like, so she embraced the challenge. She loved it. If you look at what she did, Region 1 tournament, Hayden Crockett scores 30-some a game. Katie and Greta together held her to 11. You go to Scotty Beck, held her to, I think, 9 or 11.
Yep.
And then in the championship game, she was on Hearst most of the time, and we held them well below their season average. She if you have two scores and we can kind of take one away,
Yep.
it ups your odds in a chance to win. And so whoever takes that position, we're going to have to find another defensive stopper. And I think we have one that can embrace it. But we'll see, in the upcoming season here.
Time will tell. But and I guess lastly, when you look at one thing, I'm sure the girls have talked about since the reception when they came home, 12:30 on a Sunday morning, and there's a line of cars coming to the hack. They're like, I'm sure, wow.
Yeah, and that all comes with doing something, the amount of work the girls put in and the amount of work that the parents have to put in, taking them to things and being there, the support from the community. The parents were at every game and supporting us, and they're here, the community was here, and, we got a escort in from the fire trucks and everything, and it just, I don't know, it brings the community together, I think. And the girls appreciated it. It was like, soak it all in, girls, because in a few days, I told them after, like, when we got home, I said, in a few days, we'll be just back to regular students.
Yeah.
But soak it all in right now.
Yep. You're queens now, but later on you're going to be, okay.
But, I was not expecting a escort back into town, not the way that was. And to quickly throw together the celebration on Sunday, and the amount of people that turned out to that just means a lot to us, and the support, because you can be a good team, but it takes a lot of, it takes a village, and not having people in the stands, our home court environment was really good this year, and at state, I thought we had a really good showing for the amount of hours it took to get there and the driving, and that support really resonates with the girls and myself and the team, and it just makes you play with a little more confidence.
And a little more confident, a lot more fun.
Yes.
Well, a lot of things that we can talk about individually and team-wise. It's 24 wins, a new school record, and obviously the first state championship ever for Highlander girls basketball. So we'll get a number up on the banner, and that's what you had said. You had told the girls at the beginning of the year, this is what we want to do.
Yeah, we met early and was like, okay, what do we do? We made it to the state tournament last year. That was the goal. How do we build on that? And so, I looked up at the banners and I was like, it's time. And why not us? I know we were not picked to finish very high by preseason stuff. The Hoopster didn't have us very high.
Right.
I don't think Blast from the Past had us in there anywhere. And those seem to be the media outlets that everyone looks at, right?
Yep.
But the girls continued to grind. They believed in each other. Some luck happens. You got to stay healthy, and matchups that are important. So I've had a lot of people are like, well, you're going to be really good again next year. Yeah, we should be. But one key injury or, something happens and suddenly, things go a different way. So there's a lot that had to fall into place, and it did. And I think Holly Johnson said it on one of the games that just felt like this little magic was following us everywhere because, we just continued to find ways to win. That wasn't always pretty, and it turned out to, benefit us at the end and ended, it was shocking. Like we kind of looked, Coach Glant and myself looked at each other after the game and we're like, did that just happen? I was like, yes, yes, it did. So, it's very grateful for it. And a lot of kids that have played in the program to help build the culture we have. So, it was kind of for them as well. Like, we've had some teams that have struggled. We've had some teams that are pretty good in EDC, but that work ethic in practice, the commitment to defense, that foundation kind of laid out, and this group then took it to the next level. And so that's the challenge for next year now is can we take it to another level? So,
Right. Yep. Don't rest on your laurels, girls.
no, enjoy it. Come summer, that team is now gone because, the seniors will have graduated. We'll start summer stuff without those guys, and it'll be a whole new group. And I say whole new group, but it'll be a different team without them. And so that team then now, like we're starting over basically. So enjoy it. I told the girls take as much time, enjoy your spring sports, be high school kids. We'll worry about basketball again come this summer. So, it's draining too. So hopefully their batteries recharge and we'll start this summer, and I think we'll get it going.
All right. Well, again, congratulations on a fantastic season, Coach, and already looking forward to next year. And like Jimmy said, it's going to be here before you know it.
Yeah.
It'll be November, and we're basketball season's here already, or October.
Yeah. Excited for that, and we'll see what that brings us. So.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you, and go Highlanders.
That is Coach Jimmy Howard from the Highlander Girls Basketball. Back with more Coaches Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner here on the Highlander Activity Network, and coming up Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week, we have the, I guess you can call it the spring play, but the theater is going to be humming. It's already humming with a play called The Play That Goes Wrong is the name of the play. We have a director and assistant director, Kyla Fetch and Lena Swenson, or Gleason. Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good morning.
I can't even talk. It's too early for me. I guess question number one for you, Kyla, how did you come up with this play? How did this play come about?
Well, I was trying to find something, and I almost had it narrowed down. I was pretty sure what we were going to do, and then my daughter Addison, who is in the play, brought me this script and was like, "We got to do this. It's hilarious."
So
I'll look at it. I said, "I'll look at it."
Let me look at it.
And it is. It's so funny. The first time I read through it and found some clips online, and it's just funny. I sat and laughed. I'm like, okay, you have to have a special cast you pick a show based on the cast you have. And we have a group of kids that are so funny, and comedies are hard.
Yeah.
And they are hilarious. Elena and I just sit and laugh every rehearsal. We bust
Still
out
laughing.
loud
We've seen it
laughing.
15 times.
Yes. Yeah, so it wasn't on my radar. But it's a great show. The kids have had so much fun with it. It's, yeah.
Well, I know it was the actor Peter O'Toole, which, young kids don't know who the heck that is, but some of us older folk know. He always said, life is easy, comedy is hard.
Yes.
It was one of his quotes. But now, Elena, assistant director,
Yeah.
but I mean, really, your co-directors
Yes,
really are. I mean, yeah, you
100%.
have different titles, but what is this play about? Give us a little synopsis, if you will.
So it's this amateur drama society, and they think they're high up, they think they're amazing, and then everything in their play goes wrong. Things start falling down, lines are missed, lines are repeated, everybody's just a little lost, and then we have our director on stage who's just losing her mind because nothing's going right. So, I mean, it really is the play that goes wrong. If you think it could go wrong, it does. And that's been a little hard too, is working with we need it to go wrong, but we keep saying we need it to go wrong right.
right
Otherwise, if it's not right, it's really going to be messy. So, yeah, it's hilarious.
It's a
gonna be a good one.
schizophrenic play.
Yes.
Yeah.
It has a mind of its own someday.
Yes.
But did you feel the kids really embrace this and are just having fun doing this?
Yes. Yes, they have been absolutely phenomenal. I set high expectations for them right from the beginning. I said, you have 4 weeks to learn all your lines. We have to be off book by the first part of February, so we have all of February and what we have left of March to just work on the funny. Like, comedies are hard, and they totally embraced it and were on board, and they were really basically completely off book on that date, and I've just been so proud of them and the work that they have put in, and they're just dedicated, and it's been fun to see it come to life.
It's so fun. They go home, they read their lines, they come back, they're like, hey, I had this idea, and the kids are just naturally funny, so that helps a lot. There's some little pieces that the kids have added that are just, they kill us every time.
Yes,
It's
they'll
so
do something new, and we're both like, we're keeping that. It's so fun. They're so creative.
Yeah.
And this play wouldn't be what it is without the cast we have. They are just incredible.
And being 7 through 12, you've got a good pool to work with.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely a lot more opportunity. The fall show used to be 9 through 12, and the spring show 7 and 8. And things change and numbers change, and just decided this. And if you're a theater kid, like I was a theater kid, I wanted to be
Me too.
in all the shows, right?
Yeah.
To only give them one a year when we can give them 2, why not? So now that it's 7 through 12, we have a lot more, and they just get more experience too,
Right.
because they're in 2 shows instead of 1, and we honestly have way more junior high kids participating in this show than senior high. We have a good group of senior high kids, but we will have a really good program if our 7th and 8th graders stick with it, because we have between 30 and 40 kids involved
lot.
Okay.
in this
Okay.
production.
Wow.
And there's maybe 10-ish of them are 9th through 12th grade. The rest
Okay.
are 7th and 8th. And our senior high leadership is phenomenal. They've been so good to the younger ones, and the younger ones have stepped up and just done it all.
The shows are Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Yep.
Let's give us show times.
Yeah, so we're trying something new this year. Weekends are hard for people, so we're giving this a go. Sunday will be our opening night at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then Monday and Tuesday are both at 7 p.m. And one thing that people should be aware of, since they are school nights and we get that, it is a shorter show.
Okay.
And so we will start at 7, but the show will probably only be about an hour and a half. So we should be out there by 8:30, so people can come and still get their kids to bed on time.
We're still getting home. It is a school night.
Yes.
But and did you guys come up with that? Did you think, let's change this up a little bit?
Yeah,
And-
well, Kyla has such a busy schedule too with her family and them all being involved in everything. So we thought a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday would work nice because we have not this weekend, but next weekend is prom, and then there's state something, and so we're gonna try it and see how it goes.
things.
Yeah, and state speech is coming up,
Yes.
and they're going to be on next week's show. So I mean, it is a busy time of year.
It is, and we could not find a weekend that worked other than like the second weekend in February. And
Okay.
That's too soon.
when you don't have a cast until the second
Right.
week of January, that was a little too
Yeah,
soon.
that's too soon.
Yeah, so we're like, well, what if? Why not?
Why
Give it
not?
a try.
So we're not really calling it a spring play, it's just the play.
It's just the play.
Yeah.
Yep. Fall show, spring show.
Even though we are
whatever.
technically in spring now.
Yes,
Today
thank
is the first day
goodness.
of spring.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Even though it's
that's
20
right.
degrees, but anyway,
Yeah.
it is North Dakota.
Yeah.
But we got a couple of the actors are going to be joining us here in a moment. And so, ladies, we appreciate you stopping by and looking forward to Sunday afternoon. It's Monday night,
Yes.
Tuesday night
Yes.
at the theater.
277.
277 here at the theater.
Yes.
Yes.
And we really, our biggest thing is we would love to see it packed on Sunday because so far the people that have seen it have said, okay, now I have to see it again because I want to watch for all the things that I missed the first time.
Right.
So
It's definitely
If
one
you're,
to see a few times.
yes.
It's
Go
so
all 3
good.
nights.
It's
You-
so good.
right? Support the kids. They've worked so hard on it. They deserve a full house every
And
show.
you will find something new every night.
Yes.
Like
Yep.
it will, more hilarious.
It's like that in anything. I mean, it's like if you're watching a movie or something. Hey, I didn't see that the first time. How did I miss that?
Exactly, and you can't rewind here, so
No.
gotta just show up again.
All right. Well, ladies, we appreciate it, and we'll get the actors coming over here. And what is it? Break a leg?
Yes.
And not say the other thing.
don't
It's
say
break
the
a
other
leg.
thing.
Yes.
All right.
Perfect.
The director and the assistant director are co-directors, Kyla Fetch and Elena Gleason. We'll be back with a couple of actors from this play. Coming up here as Coach's Corner continues from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. And back here in Coach's Corner here in the Highlander Activity Network, and now we have 3 of the actors that are going to be participating and performing in the play again that is called The Play That Goes Wrong. And we have Joy Saylor with Kylie Van Bruggen and Addison Fetch joining us here. Guys, thanks for joining us this morning. This is too early for you or no? Getting up, you're probably at school anyway by now, aren't you?
I mean, we wake up
By
at like
now,
5:30
not-
for
yeah.
speech, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
There's not a lot that tops speech.
Well, Joey, we'll start with you. What is your role in this play?
The character I play is Cecil Haversham. I'm the basically dead guy's brother.
Okay. Ooh, there's a dead guy in it too. That's funny too. What was the hardest part for you in for this play?
Probably getting all the lines memorized with a 4-week date.
Okay. Is it a major role since you're the dead guy's brother?
Kind of.
Right up there.
Yeah.
Right up there. Kylie, how about you? What's your role in this?
I'm Inspector Carter. I'm basically like interviewing everyone and trying to figure out who killed his brother.
Because it's murder at the Haversham
Haversham.
Murder at Haversham
Manor. Okay.
Yeah.
Is the play within the play?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're the inspector. You're the one that's trying to figure out who did what.
Yeah.
You know, with the candlestick in the
Right.
conservatory.
Yep,
For those of you that
yeah.
know the game Clue. Addie, how about you?
I'm Florence Collymore. My fiance is dead.
Okay, so you're the okay. So you're a sad fiance.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah, a little bit.
But now your mom said this is the play you kind of came up with. How did you find this one?
I saw it on TikTok.
You on TikTok?
Yes. And I thought it was really funny, except the set was very extreme, and it was a very large kind of play, and it was a little dangerous, so we switched to the one-act version, which did not have a second floor that we
Okay.
needed to build.
Okay.
So it was a lot simpler.
Okay. What was the hardest part of this play for you?
Probably just like getting into character, because Florence is very different from myself. So having to kind of switch my personality to
Okay.
be that.
Step out of your comfort zone?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's been difficult, but enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing comedy, it's got to be a little bit of fun. How about you? What was the most difficult part for you?
Trying to figure out my character. It's kind of, every time I play a character, it has like a distinct personality. This one kind of didn't, so I kind of had to figure it out myself more, and that was pretty hard to do. And lines, lots of lines.
Well, any jargon that was kind of tough to get around, or not? No, kind of verbiage that was, you're like, what does that mean? How do?
There's some weird words, but
Yeah, it's
it
normal.
was, yeah.
But as an inspector, though, so you're trying to figure things out, and is that's got to be one of the central figures then of
Yes.
this, isn't it? If not the central, or one of the central.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure things out, but my character actually knows what happened. But you have to come watch. I can't
Yeah,
spoil
yeah,
anything.
Don't give anything away.
I
Yeah,
can't.
Don't give anything
Yeah.
away. Joel, with the comedy, we were talking about this with the directors. Like, comedy is kind of hard. So have you found this a little difficult, or but fun?
Yeah, it's been difficult but fun. I'd say it wasn't too hard for me to get in my role.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's just, well, my character, the personality is basically the same,
Okay.
but then I'm just over dramatic on stage.
You're over dramatic.
My character is.
Oh, okay, not you.
Not
your
me,
character.
my character.
Okay, all right. I didn't want put words in your mouth then. And did you like the comedy part? Do you like doing something? Have you done comedies before?
Not
I don't
really
think we
for a
have.
play,
Yeah,
no. This
yeah.
is kind of new. But I do like an entertaining speech, so I'm kind of
Yep.
used to like trying to be funny.
You're
But
trying to be
I don't
funny.
know.
You are funny.
People say that, but I don't hear it.
You don't see it yet.
No.
Huh? Well, we'll find out here on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday just how funny you are.
So funny.
So funny. Addison, how about you? The comedy part of it a little more difficult or not?
Yeah, I think it's really fun because it's almost like you're trying to act dramatic, but then it's actually a comedy. So you're trying to kind of mix the two genres, and it makes it more funny, I think.
Is there overacting?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Especially with this one here.
You just hit the nail on the head. But that's kind of part of what makes it funny is the overacting. Okay. There's no singing, so this is.
That's why I joined.
I was going to ask you that. Does that make this a little more easier because you didn't have to sing?
Yes, I was not going to sing on stage. That would not have happened.
That wouldn't have happened.
No
huh?
one wants to hear that.
But that would have been more funny.
It would have been more fun.
Are you into that? You're kind of glad it's not a musical. It's just.
No,
Or you-
I think with Mean Girls, I'm glad it's not a musical. That was a lot of work. It was fun, but I'm done with that now for a while.
For a while.
But yeah, I'm glad this is just a play. It's
Okay.
way easier to not have to learn more stuff for it.
And Addison, you either way, or would you rather do a musical?
I don't know. I don't really care. I think theater in general is just fun.
Yeah. All right. One thing for each one of you to think of if you had something to tell the audience about this play that they really got to kind of watch for, not to give anything away. What's a kind of the funny thing or something that's kind of key to the play? I'll start with you, Addison. What should people look for? You can work together if you all kind of just
You getting like hit like by the.
Oh,
light bulb.
I don't know. Can't spoil.
Yeah, we
but
can't really spoil.
Can't really spoil it.
Yeah.
Florence definitely has some changes halfway through.
Okay.
She
okay.
takes on a bit of a new personality,
Okay.
and then personalities kind of clash, you know,
Okay.
fighting for that spot. So you gotta come watch.
See, they're laughing just talking about it, so something's going to be funny. And how about you, Terry? What do you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you probably won't like notice right away, but the second act, it's kind of like it really gets you on the edge of your seat because like, oh, wait, that character was that? Oh, what? So I'm not spoiling anything, because you gotta come.
We'll stop with the rule stopper. We don't
Yeah.
give too much detail away. So what do you think?
Honestly, I feel like you just got to pay attention to what's happening with the props, too. There's,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
a lot of stuff with the props that are funny things that happen, so got to pay attention to the background stuff, too.
Okay. And dress rehearsal went well because I think that was a couple of nights ago. So at least so far so good. But now you're ready to do it for real.
Yeah.
Now again, remind everybody the dates and times of the play. Who wants to take it?
You got it.
Okay. Sunday at 2 p.m. and then Monday and Tuesday at 7. So
All right, so
Yeah.
2 p.m. on Sunday and then 7 p.m. Monday and Tuesday at the theater. Guys, break a leg, have fun, enjoy it, and I'll probably be in the back because I like to be in the back because no one wants to hear me cackle when I start laughing, so I'll be in the back of the room for this one. But Addison Fetch, Kylie Van Bruggen, Joey Saylor, the three of the actors that'll be participating in the play that's called The Play That Goes Wrong. It's a play within a play. And that is again coming up Sunday afternoon, Monday night, and Tuesday night. So, guys, thanks very much for joining us. Appreciate it.
thank you.
Thanks for having us.
We'll be back and wrap things up here in Coach's Corner from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. And back here on Coach's Corner as we wrap things up here on the Highlander Activity Network on this edition of Coach's Corner. And as we mentioned, spring sports, they've already started practice. I know the track team, they're going to be up in Grand Forks at a indoor meet coming up this weekend. Baseball and softball. I think baseball actually practiced outside at Charlie Brown Field yesterday. And softball getting ready. Tennis and golf, they're going to be starting their practices here in the next few weeks. So we're going to be getting into the spring sports starting next week. But as I mentioned, coming up next week, we're going to be talking with some of the speech team members as they have their state tournament coming up here in just about a week. So we'll have speech as part of our show next week. So we'll be back with more Coach's Corner. Not many shows left here as the school year has only got a couple of months left to go. And matter of fact, 2 months from tomorrow is the last day of school. So we'll be getting just a handful more shows here on Coach's Corner. Again, my thanks to our guests today, Jim McDaniel and Jimmy Howard from Highlander Basketball, Kyla Fetch and Elena Gleason, the co-directors of the play, and the actors Joey Saylor, Addison Fetch, and Kylie Van Bruggen joining us. And as usual, our camera operator, technical director today, Rain Nelson. We do appreciate Rain helping out, as she usually does, the great job here on the Highlander Activity Network. We'll be back again next week with another edition of Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network.